Well, anyway, we'll go back to that because we'll see how we can tie that to investment potential in some parts of the country, even specifically your state. But I wanted us to go back and look at this Chibok issue because I got so worried yesterday to the extent for the very first time I had to be very personal on my Twitter handle to say, now I don't even believe that this amount of young girls were missing, because I'm also a parent. So I said to myself, possibly maybe a fewer numbers have been taken, and maybe not this amount. Now you're seated here because you're privileged to have so many security reports and so many other things. Can't WAEC, for instance, or this particular school or parents come forward to tell the nation and the world who exactly is missing? Because we keep going back and forth with figures. We don't know how many we're looking for.
You know, it's a very touchy issue, and everybody has to, people are reacting emotionally without asking questions like you're asking. And so if you say something to the contrary, you go to the social media, you'll be attacked, and particularly if you're a state governor and you want to begin to ask questions. If this was actually a Christian school, how come all the principal, the vice principal, and the rest were all Muslims? And if this was actually a school where so many children were taken away, how come the female teachers were not touched and where were they? And like I said before, if the principal has daughters, how come the daughters were equally not touched? And when they march these girls away, what number of vehicles did they bring? They will need up to 12 buses. Where did the convoy pass through? And who saw the convoy? And if some 34 girls escaped, how did they escape? And how come nobody fired at them when they were escaping? And so there are so many questions one could ask. But right now, people are becoming very emotional, and the issue is so emotive that when they mention a number, nobody cares to really want to go into the nitty-gritty. But I believe that this is where the federal government must set up a strong investigative system that must come out with the facts and figures. And at the end of the day, Nigerians will have to be briefed because the issues are very clear. It's difficult.
Sorry to cut in here, but again, you know, WAEC can also help us because I remember when we took exams to the West African Examination Council, we had a register, we had a list.
Yeah.
So if WAEC has been talking in this particular matter, helping to shed more light on this very unfortunate incident, I'm sure they too can help by providing us with the register of those who took these exams.
But WAEC is also causing more confusion, because if you are saying that this was a girls' school, how come you say you had about 130 boys? You understand? That is the information that was released, that 130 boys were there. So if you have 130 boys in that school, and it's supposed to be a girls' school, who admitted the boys at what stage? So, and of course, if the arrangement had been made, and WAEC had written that the place was not safe, and everybody knew it was not safe, how come the state government refused to evacuate the girls and take them to a safer environment?
That's another pointer. At what stage did they start admitting boys? And who are those boys? And how come none of them were taken? And you can also tie that and link it up with what we've seen on television. If someone is in your last year in high school, then you should be able to at least speak Pidgin, or if not fluent English. So if someone has come forward to say, I am an escapee, and you're writing your final exams, you can't express yourself, people are also doubtful as to if those were students of that school. So can't the government, because I may not be able to get access to some of those documents from WAEC or from the school, don't you think those are the questions that the government and agencies should try to unearth before help finally comes from outside?
I just want, my appeal to Nigerians will be for us to be patient until all these issues are addressed. I believe that the investigative results will really address all these issues, because like you are saying, nobody has come forward to say, look, I'm a student of that school, and I was admitted in so year, because being a girls' school, I don't understand how the boys came to be there, and at what stage, and what year. And then none of them has come up to say, and even when some of the parents were supposed to come out, it turned out that they were not even parents of the school. From the look of things, there are a lot of issues to be answered. But like I said, because the issues are very emotional, And you must even be careful how you comment on it. Otherwise, somebody will say, oh, you are insensitive, bring back our girls, bring back our girls. You know, so when something comes with the mass hysteria, I'm always very careful. I don't like to comment on it because I'm a governor. I like to comment on facts. And after a thorough investigation, there's a difference between intelligence and information. All sorts of information will come. But when you finish dissecting, that's when you bring out the intelligence in it. So there are a lot of issues. For me, I'm worried. And I'm saying there's also a lot of mystery surrounding it. And even the idea that these people came up 3 weeks after to come and accept that, yes, we were the people responsible. Look at their modus operandi in the past. As soon as an explosion occurred, the next day they were online saying that we did this. But this one took 3 weeks for them to come out. And they are saying, oh, I will sell your girls. And if you look at the mannerisms and then, of course, the gesticulations, you realize that even the person talking probably was on drugs. I may not even have known, he was not incoherent. I may not have known exactly what he was talking about. So scratching his body and then trying to read out a paper and all that. So those things were hastily arranged. And then, of course, we have suggested in various online media that yes, indeed, they were going to sell the girls for 2,000 naira each. And he came up and said, I will sell your girls. It doesn't add up. You know, it's very rare for the terrorists to come and say, I have your girls, I'm going to sell your girls. So I would like to offer to buy those girls so I can return them to their families.
All right, let's take a break. We'll come back and talk on some other matters we've got today on Sunrise Daily. So please join us again.